must be at least a certain age to be admitted to certain grades of school. BBR 34-479 Fiscal Note. Effect on local government may have fiscal impact. Effect on the state, yes. Explanation. Matter in bolded italics is new. Matter between brackets, omitted material is material to be omitted. ANACT relating to education. Changing the date by which a child must be at least a certain age to be admitted to certain grades of school, and providing other matters properly relating thereto. Legislative Council's Digest. One existing law requires a child to be 5 years of age on or before September 30th to be admitted to kindergarten at the beginning of the school year. In addition to other 3 requirements, existing law requires a child to be 6 years of age on or before the 4th of September 30th to be admitted to the first grade, and 7 years of age on or before the 5th of September 30th to be admitted to the second grade. NRS 392.040. This bill changes 6 the date by which a child must attain a certain age to start certain grades at the 7th beginning of the school year from September 30th to August 1st. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. 1 Section 1. NRS 392.040 is hereby amended to read as follows. 392.0401. Except as otherwise provided by law, each parent, 3 custodial parent, guardian or other person in the state of Nevada for having control or charge of any child between the ages of 7 and 18 5 years shall send the child to a public school during all the time the 6th public school is in session in the school district in which the child 7 resides unless the child has graduated from high school. 8.2. A child who is 5 years of age on or before September 30th, the 9th of August 1st of a school year may be admitted to kindergarten at the Senate Bill No. 102 Senator Hammond February 8th, 2021, underscore 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 referred to Committee on Education. Asterisk SB 102 asterisk. 2-1 beginning of that school year, and the child's enrollment must be counted for purposes of apportionment. If a child is not 5 years of 3 age on or before September 30th, August 1st of a school year, the child 4 must not be admitted to kindergarten. 5.3. Except as otherwise provided in subsection 4. A child who is 6 years of age on or before September 30th, August 1st of a school 7-year must, 8a, if the child has not completed kindergarten, be admitted to 9 kindergarten at the beginning of that school year, or 10b, if the child has completed kindergarten, be admitted to the 11 first grade at the beginning of that school year, 12 and the child's enrollment must be counted for purposes of 13 apportionment. If a child is not 6 years of age on or before 14 September 30th, August 1st of a school year, the child must not be 15 admitted to the first grade until the beginning of the school year 16 following the child's 6th birthday. 17.4. The parents, custodial parent, guardian or other person 18 within the state of Nevada having control or charge of a child who 19 is 6 years of age on or before September 30th, August 1st of a school 20 year may elect for the child not to attend kindergarten or the first 21 grade during that year. The parents, custodial parent, guardian or 22 other person who makes such an election shall file with the board of 23 trustees of the appropriate school district a waiver in a Form 24 prescribed by the board. 25.5. Whenever a child who is 6 years of age is enrolled in a 26 public school, each parent, custodial parent, guardian or other 27 person in the state of Nevada having control or charge of the child 28 shall send the child to the public school during all the time the 29 school is in session. If the Board of Trustees of a school district has adopted a policy prescribing a minimum number of days of 31 attendance for pupils enrolled in kindergarten or first grade pursuant 32 to NRS 392.122, The school district shall provide to each parent and 33 legal guardian of a pupil who elects to enroll his or her child in 34 kindergarten or first grade a written document containing a copy of 35 that policy and a copy of the policy of the school district concerning 36 the withdrawal of pupils from kindergarten or first grade. Before the 37 child's first day of attendance at a school, the parent or legal 38 guardian shall sign a statement on a form provided by the school 39 district acknowledging that he or she has read and understands the 40 policy concerning attendance and the policy concerning withdrawal 41 of pupils from kindergarten or first grade. The parent or legal 42 guardian shall comply with the applicable requirements for 43 attendance. This requirement for attendance does not apply to any 44 child under the age of 7 years who has not yet been enrolled or has 45 been formally withdrawn from enrollment in public school. Asterisk SB 102 asterisk 316. A child who is 7 years of age on or before September 30th, the 2nd of August 1st of a school year must 3a. If the child has completed kindergarten and the first grade, 4. Be admitted to the second grade. 5b. If the child has completed kindergarten, be admitted to the first grade. 7c. If the parents, custodial parent, guardian or other person in the state of Nevada having control or charge of the child waived the 9 child's attendance from kindergarten pursuant to subsection 4, 10 undergo an assessment by the district pursuant to subsection 7 to 11 determine whether the child is prepared developmentally to be 12 admitted to the first grade. If the district determines that the child is 13 prepared developmentally, the child must be admitted to the first 14 grade. If the district determines that the child is not so prepared, he 15 or she must be admitted to kindergarten. 16. The enrollment of any child pursuant to this subsection must be 17 counted for apportionment purposes. 18.7. Each school district shall prepare and administer before the 19 beginning of each school year a developmental screening test to a 20 child. 21a who is 7 years of age on or before September 30th, August 1st, 22 of the next school year, and 23b whose parents waived the child's attendance from 24 kindergarten pursuant to subsection 4, 25 to determine whether the child is prepared developmentally to be 26 admitted to the first grade. The results of the test must be made 27 available to the parents, custodial parent, guardian or other person 28 within the state of Nevada having control or charge of the child. 29.8. Except as otherwise provided in subsection 9, a child who 30 becomes a resident of this state after completing kindergarten or 31 beginning first grade in another state in accordance with the laws of 32, that state may be admitted to the grade the child was attending, or 33 would be attending had he or she remained a resident of the other 34 state regardless of his or her age, unless the Board of Trustees of the 35 school district determines that the requirements of this section are 36 being deliberately circumvented. 37.9. Pursuant to the provisions of NRS 388F.010, a child who 38 transfers to a school in this state from a school outside this state 39 because of the military transfer of the parent or legal guardian of the 40 child must be admitted to 41a the grade, other than kindergarten. The child was attending 42 or would be attending had he or she remained a resident of the other 43 state, regardless of the child's age. Asterisk SB 102 asterisk 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. 4b kindergarten. If the child was enrolled in kindergarten in another state in accordance with the laws of that state, regardless of the child's age. 10. As used in this section, kindergarten includes a kindergarten established by the Board of Trustees of a school district pursuant to NRS 388.060, b a kindergarten established by the governing body of a charter school, and c an authorized program of instruction for kindergarten offered in a child's home pursuant to NRS 388.060. Sec. 2. This act becomes effective upon passage and approval. H*SB 102*.
So it's always so important to understand that laws do change. And that was a long time ago. They're trying to reauthorize something that they had on the books here in Nevada for reauthorization of, you know, what they should be doing anyway. So let's share the screen and read. Let's see. Scarce like gold.
IDEA Reauthorized Statute Part 100 Option, Age 3 to Kindergarten Age. The Reauthorized Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, was signed into law on December 3, 2004, by President George W. Bush.
Amen.
The provisions of the act became effective on July 1, 2005, with the exception of some of the elements pertaining to the definition of a highly qualified teacher that took effect upon the signing of the act. This is one in a series of documents prepared by the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services (OSERS) in the U.S. Department of Education that covers a variety of high-interest topics and brings together the statutory language related to those topics to support constituents in preparing to 1. Allows flexibility to make Part 100 services available to children from age 3 until eligible to enter kindergarten or elementary school. A statewide system described in Section 633 may include a state policy, developed and implemented jointly by the lead agency and the State Education Agency, SEA, under which parents of children with disabilities who are eligible for services under Section 619 and previously received services under Part 100, may choose the continuation of early intervention services, which shall include an educational component that promotes school readiness and incorporates pre-literacy, language and numeracy skills for such children under Part 100 until such children enter, or are eligible under state law to enter, kindergarten. 635C1. 2. Expands the definition of infants and toddlers. The term infant or toddler with a disability may also include, at a state's discretion, children with disabilities who are eligible for services under Section 619 and who previously received services under Part 100 until such children enter, or are eligible under state law to enter, kindergarten or elementary school, as appropriate, provided that any programs under Part 100 serving such children shall include an educational component that promotes school readiness and incorporates pre-literacy, language, and numeracy skills, and a written notification to parents of their rights and responsibilities in determining whether their child will continue to receive services under Part 100 or participate in preschool programs under Section 619. 632(5)(b) 2(1) topics in this series include alignment with the No Child Left Behind Act, changes in initial evaluation and re-evaluation, children enrolled by their parents in private schools, discipline, disproportionality and over-identification, early intervening services, highly qualified teachers, individualized education program, IEP, team meetings and changes to the IEP, individualized education program, IEP, local funding, National Instructional Materials Accessibility Standard, NIMAS, Part 100 Amendments and IDEA 2004, Part 100 Option, Age 3 to Kindergarten Age, Procedural Safeguards, Surrogates, Notice and Consent, Procedural Safeguards, Mediation and Resolution Sessions, Procedural Safeguards, Due Process Hearings, Secondary Transition, State Funding, and statewide and district-wide assessments. Documents are available on the OSERS website at www.ed.gov/about/offices/list/osers/index.html. Implement the new requirements of IDEA regarding the Part 100 option to make Part 100 services available to children after age 3 that became effective on July 1, 2005. It does not address any changes that may be made by the final regulations. IDEA 2004, This document addresses only the changes to the provisions. 3. Adds requirements in implementing this option. If a statewide system includes the option under Section 635C1, the statewide system shall ensure that parents of children with disabilities served pursuant to Section 635C are provided annual notice that contains a description of the rights of such parents to elect to receive early intervention services pursuant to Section 635C or under Part B, and or an explanation of the differences between services provided pursuant to Section 635C and services provided under Part B, including 1. Types of services and the locations at which the services are provided, 2. Applicable procedural safeguards, and 3. Possible costs, including any fees to be charged to families as described in Section 632(4)b, if any, to parents of infants or toddlers with disabilities. Services provided pursuant to Section 635C include an educational component that promotes school readiness and incorporates pre-literacy, language and numeracy skills. The state policy will not affect the right of any child served pursuant to Section 635C to instead receive a free appropriate public education, FAPE, under Part B. All early intervention services outlined in the Child's Individualized Family Service Plan, IFSP, under Section 636 are continued while any eligibility determination is being made for services under Section 635C. The parents of infants or toddlers with disabilities, as defined in Section 632(5)a, provide informed written consent to the state before such infants or toddlers reach 3 years of age, as to whether such parents intend to choose the continuation of early intervention services pursuant to Section 635C for such infants or toddlers. The requirements under Section 637A9 shall not apply with respect to a child who is receiving services in accordance with Section 635C until not less than 90 days, and at the discretion of the parties to the conference, not more than 9 months before the time the child will no longer receive those services, and there will be a referral for evaluation for early intervention services of a child who experiences a substantiated case of trauma due to exposure to family violence, as defined in Section 320 of the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act. 635C2. 4. Adds a reporting requirement. If a statewide system includes the option under Section 635C1, the state shall submit to the Secretary, in the state's report under Section 637B4A, a report on the number and percentage of children with disabilities who are eligible for services under Section 619, but whose parents choose for such children to continue to receive early intervention services under Part 100. 635C3. 5. Requires identification of funding sources in the state's policy. If a statewide system includes the option under Section 635C1, the policy shall describe the funds, including an identification as federal, state or local funds that will be used to ensure that the option described in Section 635C1 is available to eligible children and families who provide the consent described in Section 635C2E, including fees, if any, to be charged to families as described in Section 632(4)b. 635C4. 6. Creates rules of construction on state flexibility. If a statewide system includes the option under Section 635C1, a state that provides services in accordance with Section 635C to a child with a disability who is eligible for services under Section 619 shall not be required to provide the child with FAPE under Part B for the period of time in which the child is receiving services under Part 100. Nothing in Section 635C shall be construed to require a provider of services under Part 100 to provide the child served under Part 100 with FAPE. 635C5. A state that provides early intervention services in accordance with Part 100 to a child who is eligible for services under Section 619 is not required to provide such child with FAPE. 612A1C. 7. allows the use of funds for the Part 100 option. In addition to using funds provided under Section 633 to maintain and implement the statewide system required by Section 633, a state may use such funds, with the written consent of the parents, to continue to provide early intervention services under Part 100 to children with disabilities from their third birthday until such children enter, or are eligible under state law to enter, kindergarten, in lieu of FAPE provided in accordance with Part B. 638.4 for any fiscal year for which the amount appropriated pursuant to the authorization of appropriations under Section 644 exceeds $460 million. The Secretary shall reserve 15% of such appropriated amount to provide grants to states that are carrying out the policy described in Section 635C in order to facilitate the implementation of such policy. 643(1) Each state shall use any funds the state reserves under Section 619D, reservation for state activities, and does not use for administration under Section 619E, state administration, to conduct the specific activities authorized under Section 619F, including providing early intervention services, which shall include an educational component that promotes school readiness and incorporates pre-literacy, language and numeracy skills in accordance with Part 100 to children with disabilities who are eligible for services under Section 619 and who previously received services under Part 100 until such children enter, or are eligible under state law to enter, kindergarten, or at the state's discretion, to continue service coordination or case management for families who receive services under Part 100. 619F5. 6. Any state eligible to receive a grant under Section 619 may use funds made available under Sections 611E1A, 611 Funds for State Administration, 611F3, Local Education Agency, LEA funds available for reallocation, or 619F5, 619 funds for state-level activities to develop and implement the state policy jointly with the lead agency under Part 100 and the SEA to provide early intervention services, which shall include an educational component that promotes school readiness and incorporates pre-literacy, language and numeracy skills in accordance with Part 100 to children with disabilities who are eligible for services under Section 619 and who previously received services under Part 100, until such children enter, or are eligible under state law to enter, kindergarten, or elementary school as appropriate. 611E7.
Wow, more than a handful. And this was changed in 2004, but it's 2021. And for whatever reason, Nevada hasn't updated their policy. So let's share this with the legislators and see if they can retool the policy, board policy 102, right? Nevada policy 102. We'll see. We'll see.